With Marvel's recent rise to box office domination, comic book characters have never been more influential in our pop culture. One of the most well-known of these characters is the Hulk. The Hulk was a nuclear scientist whose name was Bruce Banner. After exposing himself to dangerous gamma radiation, he transformed into the Hulk, a freak of nature capable of leveling buildings and terrorizing his enemies. People wondered if there would ever be another human who would ever be like the Hulk. Their questions were answered with the introduction of Jennifer Walters, the She-Hulk. My group and I are going to give you a detailed breakdown of the She-Hulk and her abilities. To start off, here is some more background information on Jennifer Walters. Jennifer Walters worked as a lawyer. One day, Bruce Banner, who is her cousin, decided to visit Jennifer to re-establish their once close relationship. On that very same day, Jennifer was seriously wounded from a gunshot from men who were working for Nicholas Trask, a crime boss who had been an enemy of her father and the enemy of one of Jennifer's clients. She was losing a lot of blood and there were no available donors. Fortunately, Bruce saved her life from the almost fatal wound by giving her a blood transfusion. The blood let her survive long enough to get to the hospital, but the radiation in the blood gave Jennifer Walters similar powers to the Hulk. The genetic mutation heightened Walters' senses, giving her superhuman speed, strength, durability, as well as severe size and shape alteration and cellular regeneration far superior than normal humans. While the same genetic mutation gave both the Hulk and the She-Hulk their powers, there are some differences. As you can see in the table, their strengths are comparable, with the Hulk besting Jennifer Walters in some metrics.
After receiving the blood transfusion, Jennifer Walters was exposed to gamma radiation which altered her DNA, allowing her to transform into She-Hulk. The ability of Jennifer to transform into and out of her She-Hulk form is likely due to what is known as epigenetic modification, or simply a gene's ability to be turned on and off. If an average human was exposed to the hazardous levels of gamma radiation that Jennifer Walters was, for example, emitted from a nuclear bomb, they would develop cancerous tumors all over their body, brain, stomach, liver, skin, and more.
She can also heal herself extremely quickly if there are surface-level injuries, and this is the result of an excess amount of regenerative cells. Additionally, she is capable of rapidly regenerating injuries that result in great tissue damage and blood loss within a matter of minutes. However, like a normal human, she is not capable of regenerating missing limbs or organs. She-Hulk's highly efficient metabolism renders her immune to all drugs and toxins, as well as total immunity to all known earthly diseases.
Now we're going to be talking about the chemistry of She-Hulk. First, we're going to talk about how Hulk got his powers, and then we're going to talk about how She-Hulk got her powers. Hulk got his powers when he was hit by the most dangerous type of radiation, called gamma radiation. Gamma radiation is the most dangerous and the most powerful type of ionizing radiation. Gamma radiation has no mass, and since it has no mass, it is light, so it can penetrate the skin of an average human being very easily. Since She-Hulk was injected with Hulk's blood, her blood directly contains a very severe amount of gamma particles, which are very harmful for her.
The transformation of Jennifer Walters into She-Hulk would require a chemical miracle. Being exposed to the most dangerous type of radiation, gamma radiation, which requires several inches of lead, the equivalent of several feet of concrete, to stop, is already incredibly harmful. But having radiated blood injected into her bloodstream can only have even worse effects. As noted before, gamma radiation has a powerful ability to penetrate objects, which means that those exposed to gamma radiation will have their entire body affected, down to the very marrow in their bones. This exposure can be scarring, if not fatal for humans. When penetrating humans, gamma radiation harms the body on a cellular level by mutating their DNA. It does this by emitting dicentric and deletion frequencies that command the DNA to mutate themselves. DNA has been known to respond to electromagnetic fields at specific frequencies, and extremely low-frequency electromagnetic fields cause DNA breaks. One process by which gamma radiation mutates is called double-stranded breaks, where the DNA gets cut in two, allowing for the possibility of a fatal rearrangement. This type of DNA lesion is considered to be the most dangerous. Typically, the broken DNA pieces incorrectly mold together, creating a mutated mess of genes in the form of a tumor. She-Hulk's case, however, is special because she was exposed to gamma radiation only from Hulk's radiated blood when it was shared with her. Because Hulk is a work of fiction, therefore barring us from analyzing his blood and DNA, and no sane scientist would inject radiated blood into a subject to test the results, we can only predict the process by which She-Hulk came to be. When comparing the transformations of Banner and Jennifer, we can note that the waves of gamma radiation that Banner was exposed to when he became Hulk were replaced with the radiated Hulk genes from Banner's blood for Jennifer's transformation. This difference would ultimately limit the reach of the radiation's electromagnetic waves. From this, we can conclude that Jennifer's transformation was more controlled than Banner's. On top of that, the source of Banner's radiation exposure was a gamma radiation bomb from Banner's lab, raising the question of what lab chemicals or outside variables might have accounted for the transformation into Hulk. Jennifer, again, doesn't go through such risk when becoming She-Hulk. With all of these factors, the most unpredictable would be the radiated Hulk genes. With those emitting the electromagnetic fields, the effect of the radiation would be sending a completely different frequency from normal gamma rays, possibly ordering the systematic replication of the Hulk gene mutation, unlike the normal order of double-stranded breaks. Of course, this is just a simulation to raise out the Hulk gene that appeared in Jennifer's DNA.
When Jennifer exercises her body in her human form, she strengthens her muscles and becomes stronger as a human. This also translates to her Hulk form because the stronger she is as a human, the more strength she has as She-Hulk.
She-Hulk's highly advanced musculature produces considerably less fatigue toxins during physical activity than the musculature of an ordinary human being. She can exert herself at peak capacity for about 48 hours before fatigue begins to impair her performance. Additionally, like how with normal people, when they are in extreme emotional situations, adrenaline will kick in. The same thing occurs with She-Hulk in her transition, as the already intense emotions, usually of anger and frustration, heighten and increase to the adrenaline in her body, therefore making her Hulk form even stronger.
However, there is a drawback to this seemingly all-amazing power. As a result of how much Jennifer Walker enjoys becoming She-Hulk, she starts to become addicted to it. When something gets feelings of happiness and pleasure, that's due to an increase of a chemical in the brain called dopamine. Dopamine is a molecule that ferries messages across the brain's reward center. When someone uses a drug or engages in a pleasurable experience, the same natural reward circuitry is activated. The process of her transitioning into She-Hulk works the same way as if she were taking drugs, tricking some brain cells into activating neurons that use dopamine, resulting in her addiction to She-Hulk.
Now, moving on to the physics behind She-Hulk. The force of She-Hulk's punch can be determined by the equation force equals mass times acceleration, popularly known as Newton's second law. She-Hulk weighs 650 pounds or 295 kilograms, and her superhuman speed is 400 miles per hour or 179 meters per second. So, if we use those statistics, then her approximate force is going to be 52,805 newtons, equivalent to the weight of an adult African elephant standing on your chest. She-Hulk increases her size as she gets angrier. If her body size increases by n times, her surface area is going to be n squared, and her volume is going to be n cubed. To get the time She-Hulk spends to run 500 meters, we can use a formula highlighted in red. Assuming that she sprints for 500 meters with zero change of pace and her maximum speed is 179 meters per second, then the approximate time she takes to run 500 meters is going to be 2.8 seconds.
As for the elements of computer science related to She-Hulk, although this specific Marvel character has not yet appeared in any of Marvel Studios' movies, her screenplay, like most superhero characters in modern movies, will be a combination of acting and computer animation. Using her cousin Hulk, who has already been filmed in multiple movies as a reference, She-Hulk will most likely be created from the technique named motion capturing. This filming technique is used by analyzing the motion of an actor, which in recent Hulk movies has been Mark Ruffalo, and using that movement as a base for the character shown in the movie, Hulk. However, unlike what most people think, most of the character Hulk's creation isn't done behind a computer screen, but instead done by the actor. When filming for the motion capture, more commonly referred to as mocap, Ruffalo wears a heavy prosthetic suit, outlining the body of Hulk in a sort of ridiculous way.